Hi everyone, welcome on Money 8. I am Mark and today I have the pleasure to be with Hadi Abassi, founder of Atlas Engineered Products, leading manufacturers of engineered wood products across Canada. How are you, Hadi?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me. I
Oh,
appreciate that.
this is my pleasure. So
Yeah,
you're the founder of Atlas Engineering. Could we know
yeah.
what's your background and how you had the idea of founding the company?
Okay. So basically, my background, like I left my home, I'm Persian, and then I studied in England. I'm a mechanical engineer. And then I moved to Canada in 1982. And like every other immigrant, I was a janitor at McDonald's doing the graveyard cleaning and stuff there. And just make my way up. And then I ended up in construction in the window manufacturing and then sales. And then I found that's where I belong in the business development, sales, and making markets happen and creating something from nothing. And
Okay.
then I've always wanted to have my own business. In 1999, I used to live on Vancouver Island, and I had an opportunity to buy a small company. That it was a small truss manufacturing company, just a little one. Their revenue was $95,000 a year. And I bought that company for $45,000, and then we named it Atlas Engineered Products Limited.
Okay.
And when we went public, the revenue was around $8 million, about 4 years ago, just shy of 4 years ago. We went public. And I had a great company making good cash flow, no debt, nothing. But the reason I went public was, and so that's why when you asked the question, founded Atlas was just a truss and floor manufacturing. But the reason I went public because I had a different vision in the industry that I've been thinking about it for years, even when I retired and come back again, because I knew due to environment, due to labor shortage and the way the whole housing market goes in North America, even the whole world, in North America, we are behind the rest of the world and Europe. And there is a time for us to start manufacturing component housing inside the factory and ship them to the job site and lock them up. And that was always one of the vision I always had, and we always talked about it and the dream I had. And that's why I went public. So the public thing, yes, we went public as one of the vision was to do a roll up like Boyd Itobody did and buy different trust plans across the country. But there was a bigger vision behind that, is to set up the footprint across North America within certain provinces and certain places you have your factory.
Okay.
Then you start doing a fully automated robotic machinery, computerized everything, because of so you can justify for the lack of labor, and then start making a difference in the housing industries and make houses more affordable, faster, more efficient for the builders, and hopefully they can pass it on to the end users. So sometimes you don't have to wait 12 months to get a house done. And really, and that's the future. That is in Europe. It's nothing new. I did not invent that. That is in Europe. It's just I'm one of the dreamers who wants to bring it to North America. And to do that, you need a lot of cash, a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of management, brain power. And one way of doing it, it was going public. And that's why I went public.
Okay.
And we joined the TS. So that's the long and short version of the dream. Yeah.
This is crazy, like because I am an immigrant as well, and you really explain what the I would say the Canadian dream is, like starting from the bottom and reach the top. So no, this is amazing. And so
God bless McDonald's.
And so how would you define Atlas Engineering? So what's the, let's say, specific business? Are you just in one small sector of the wood sector, or are you involved into different sectors?
I'm a true believer, you stick to what you know best.
Okay.
And not go and become all over the place and stuff there. Basically, we are in the middle of, we are in a transition for our identity. We were solely a truss manufacturer. Then we became a floor manufacturer. Then we became a wall manufacturer. So really, we are a component, building component manufacturer, not mobile homes, not anything like that. We just built the component and we provide a service to put that component together on a job site. Now, what I'm talking, do we do it everywhere? No. We are in the transition of doing that. Within the next couple of years, few years, we will get there. But that's what we do. And basically, we are a building component manufacturer. We manufacture floors, Basically, the builder will give us a foundation, finished foundation.
Mhm.
We will manufacture the floors, the walls, outside, inside, and the roof, and we put it all together for them. And that's where the lockup packages, that's the most critical part of the construction. That's where the builders get most of their money.
Okay.
The weather is weather-wise, you lock it up, it's dry. And then once you work inside the house, everything becomes more efficient. So really, we are in a transition from a truss and a floor manufacturer to
Okay.
wall panel, then building the components. So we are in that journey that we are in the middle of it, but we know the path. And then we stick to that. Now, something else comes out down the road. We are not ignorant. We are open-minded. But I've been all years in my business. That is, you stick to what you know best. And the other thing is, you make sure you make a profit. Because without profit, you're not doing very good. So that's it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm curious, so how big is the market in North America?
What do you mean? How is it? How is the market?
Yeah, how
the
big?
market, how big?
Yeah.
Okay, how big? I apologize. I mean, I don't really have the number for total, but for example, in our industry, in Canada, we take a small portion of that market. Like we becoming the biggest in the country, but we take a small portion of that market. And we're talking about a revenue of a yearly of $50 million. Now, honestly, I couldn't tell you how many times you got to multiply. Like we're talking about billions and billions of dollars. The building industry is huge.
Okay.
Like it's phenomenal, huge, and there is a desire and a hunger for more homes. Like we are, Canada and US, we are behind so many hundreds of thousands of houses behind that people need help.
Yeah, definitely.
And hence you see the crazy prices that young people can't afford to buy a home.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like when you know I'm checking the news and you see,
you see
the price. Sorry.
That's what I mean. Like, sorry, it's just that. That's a great question. I never look at it like that because we always worry about our revenues and our segment, but we're talking about billions and billions of dollar industry, you know, it's huge.
Yeah.
And then we just want a part of it, just a small portion of it. That's it.
No, you know, it's your company is so right into like what's the price in North America is what you're saying. You know, when you're checking the news, let's say around Vancouver and you see the price of living there, it's beyond like common sense. You're definitely right. And yeah, so because I was checking, you also raised your earnings 2 weeks ago, I think, and it's basically following the trend of the growing industry, right? Could you talk more about your earnings and highlight some numbers?
Okay, the earning, really the highlight numbers, and forgive me if it becomes a little bit of bragging, but it really blew my mind away. But let's see, when I took over last year, just around this time, because we were talking about he wanted to go pursue something else or ex-CEO, and I came back to take over the CEO role because I was really just advisory role and being on the board and that stuff. My background in business is you either go work for somebody else or you work in a business that you make money, you produce a profit every month. Otherwise, why go through the stress and all the risk and everything you take there? And I noticed with us, we were not just, our business wasn't justified by the bottom line we were making. So that was my number one goal. And the other thing was I just wanted to solidify the team we had across the country because we were fragmented. It was a new team and the team wasn't solidified yet. I work on the foundation of the business with the executives, the teams, the leadership team, and give them the safety, security, and train them. And then we started working on the bottom line. And I have a couple of amazing ladies on my team that they've been with me since beginning, so over 20 years, that she's a VP of operations for all of the operations. And Melissa, that is our interim CFO, she's been with me for over 12 years. And they know how we operate. We understand each other's language. We know our business. And they are a magician on profit. That's their credit. They say, I'm the dreamer. They are the ones who keep the grounds whirring and making sure everything happens. So what we did, for example, I just have it here. Excuse me. I'll look at the screen because my memory goes a bit crazy with everything. Yeah. So the 9 months ended last year, by September 20th, 2020. The 9 months ended. Our revenue was $24 million, 600,000. Okay. The 9 months ended this September 2021. Our revenue is $41 million.
Okay.
That is the one I love the most is gross margin went up from 21% to 27%, and the normalized EBITDA went from 10% to 21%. That's the real dollar. That's the real money. And then if you compare third quarter to third quarter, the 3 months ended last year, September 30th, 2020, our revenue was 9.6 million. And this year our revenue was 17.5 million. And our EBITDA went up from 14% to 25%. And that is the numbers from last year to this year. Yeah.
No, this is great numbers, definitely. And, you know, like they totally like deserve to be highlighted because like I'm gonna be honest, like all the lights are on the green, and it's great to see like this type of growth. And, you know, I was also digging about your fundamentals when we see you have 57 million shares, 17 million warrants at 60 cents to provide more cash, additional cash. And on this side, it's definitely great because, you know, like all the investors are looking for not a big like numbers of shares when they want to invest. And I was checking, you still, I would say the small point, you still have some debt. And do you plan to reduce it in the near future?
Okay, so those warrants, that's the good news, the bad news, right? You have so many warrants that if the share goes up to a point that they're going to exercise the warrant, like we had some last month, but the share was below 60, so they didn't exercise. So that was kind of blessed. But now with those warrants, I have no choice. We have no choice. If the share goes up and we don't control the market, market does whatever market does. So if the share goes up and the warrants cash in, look, I the thought of it, I hate it for a long time. But now if that happens, what I've tried to do with the plannings we have done, not me, with the team we have done for the future, for around the January, February. And we're hoping if this warrants, if they don't cash in, that's fine, we are great.
Yeah.
But if they cash in, we can turn a negative into a positive.
Okay, perfect.
And that's and then because then you got so many $1 million in your bank, but then what do you do with it? And then there is debts, there are M&As, there is automation, there is something. So we're hoping to and not hoping, if that happens there, we will turn it into a really good story. And we have been working on it, we've been preparing for it since a few months, since 4 months ago, trust me. And we will turn it into a good story if that happens.
Oh, this is great, definitely. You know, I just wanted to ask this question because sometimes like you have some companies, they want to expand fast. And what's the solution? You know, it's like a private placement, dilution in journey. Like usually these private placement, they was like way under the current stock price. So it's very interesting, you know, what you're saying, because it shows that like it grows, the company grows on a healthy way, like a controlled dilution. So it's benefit perfect. And I was wondering, because I'm not an expert at all in this sector. I was checking your price sales ratio, which is around like 0.78, which is nothing, like, but at least already like a 1 price sales ratio is already great. So I would say your company is definitely undervalued, sorry.
Yeah.
But let's say compared to your competitors, would you say the company is at its fair valuation?
No, we are actually, and it's just not me. Like, and with me is I keep my mouth shut because I don't want to be a victim about it either, you know, and complain stuff. But we are one of the cheapest stock in the marketplace to buy right now. We are one of the cheapest companies to buy. Like, we are right now with the new earnings and the new price, say around 60 cents. We are 3.8 times EBITDA. That's our price earning. There are companies that in our domain that they do it and they are anywhere from 7, 8 to 12 times. Wow. And we are absolutely undervalued, but it's one of those things. What are you going to do? It's just what it is, right?
It's the stock market sometimes, you know, like the name of a company makes everything, and they are overvalued. No, for sure, you're definitely right.
The name and the other thing is to give market the respect. They are you invest into future. and what there is. That's what sometimes software companies or medical company, they talk about this miraculous thing. If it happens, the future changes. And I noticed with us, because we are a more of a humble company. Like with me, mine was the way I was with me was, let's just produce result and let the results do the talking, not becoming a promoter, because we really promotion after all it is, it becomes hot air, right? It's just all you're doing, you're promoting and waving your arms everywhere. You know, it's time. It's good to produce. It's good to produce and tell people, hey, you put your money where your mouth is. But now, the one area I think we haven't done a really good job is sharing and communicating the dream. We did not just go there to consolidate truss plants and turn one factory into 50 factories and bring the cost down and all of that stuff there. That's the classic rollout. We are there because beyond all of that, there is a huge dream that it has not been down here yet into full magnitude. And that's the one we haven't done a good job. And one of it is really probably is because you think that your competition is going to go with wind off it and compete with you because you always want to go under the radar. But we won't be able to do everything. Not one company, not 50 companies. For doing it that kind of magnitude, we need tons of money and tons of expertise and companies to do it. So the more the merrier. And it's good luck to them. But that is the future. That is the future that I see in 10 years, like one of your questions was about the future and stuff. I see that in 10 years, 50 years, that is where our industry is going. And people like me that is supposed to be the leaders of this industry will be, it's not right that if you don't lead the path into that future. Because it's for the younger generations coming behind us, and we need to lead the path. We can't just make money and put it in the bank and go sit in Palm Springs or Miami and play golf, right?
Yeah, definitely. And because you're talking about future, so right now, like this morning, there were great news about the company's future, that you did a British Columbia acquisition. Could you talk more about it?
This one, my goodness, this one is one of, if you ever ask me right on the top 5 companies for M&A you want to do, this one's number 1. Trust me. I'm sorry I had to keep it a bit because we got to do communication with employees, with the supply stuff. That's why we said this British Columbia. But strategically, market-wise, company-wise, everything, that is absolutely, there is 5 companies I have, and that one is number 1. That is on my wish list.
Crazy.
And that is my number 1 there. And I will full of anxieties in the last 4 weeks, 8 weeks. And even losing my cool sometimes and getting impatient out of character or whatever. But finally we signed it, and I'm really, really excited about it. And I apologize even this morning. Like I was working late the last 2 days and stuff, so I hadn't even shaved. So I'm sorry, look a little bit grumpy like this.
Well, so congratulations for this number 1 acquisition. Then it was just you did this acquisition through cash, only cash, right?
We're gonna do it through cash and loans from the bank if needed. Yes, no dilution.
No,
absolutely not. I've already got about 50 emails from companies that they want to go raise money, but no, we are not. It's all no. I'm a strong. I'm very, very highly strong against dilution of shares, of course, because I own such a big chunk of the company too there. But I do understand you go public because you want to use the public money. There's a time and a place you got to raise money, but you don't go do it at 40 cents and 60 cents. When you get to $1.50, $1.80, $2, then you look at it. But right now, basically, all you're doing is committing suicide, and you are not doing any justice to your shareholders. Then we did that once, and that wasn't right. That was a mistake.
Yeah,
and we don't want to make the same mistake.
Nice, yeah.
We don't want to make the same mistakes again. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's one of the public companies avenue you use, and the what we want to go future stuff is huge, but you can't just go raise money at 60 cents. It's just not fair. Like the company is worth a lot more money than it is right now. Yeah. And thank God we're making money. We don't need the money, and we have a good deal with the banks. Like we can use the bank. So
yeah, this is definitely a great thing to highlight. You know, like I always love when a company is just doing acquisition with just cash. I mean, like, you know, the money is coming, the money is reinvested
Yeah.
smartly. And yeah. And so,
And then at the and the companies you buy immediately, basically you don't even, you just, all you're doing is that even the owners, it just basically just keep on continuing producing that cash in a monthly basis. So it's not something you got to wait another 12 months to have. It's
yeah.
there, it's happened. That's what this company ticked all the boxes, especially the location being in British Columbia, because I want to balance the weather in Canada, right? For revenues. So you don't go up and down crazy. And we're almost there. We're getting there right now, very closely.
And so for, I don't know if you have that number, but for 2022, do you have a target for revenues?
This year,
For
we had put a, for next year, we are working on a budget, but usually, honestly, right now we are working on a budget, and then we will see what happens. Sorry, I'm not dodging your question.
No,
It's
sure,
just
no,
that
no worries, no worries. You know, I'm just curious, and you know, like, I
yeah,
like to ask these questions, like, as a regular normal investor. So,
yeah,
I was just curious, you know, like, if there's
it
any.
will be more than the year before.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do anyway? It's not what you did yesterday, it's what you're going to do tomorrow, right?
Yeah, no, it's my fault, it's my bad.
Yeah, that's okay. I like that. That's okay.
And so let's say, because I'm very curious, and I know that like our listeners would be very curious about Atlas Engineering in the future. Let's say we're in 2021, and now in 2026. Where would you say Atlas Engineering is?
In 2026, we have a group of companies across the country, and that we manufacture in building component, and we ship them into construction sites, and we put the whole thing together into a lockup package. And in 2026, we have started a footprint in the United States too.
Perfect. Awesome.
In the God's country.
And you know, you have a great company. I mean, you are definitely a great founder who, you know, started from the bottom, reached the top, and you're gonna burst that ceiling for sure. And I am curious, because doing this type of things, you know, you have to be very undertaking. And I'd like to know, at what stage of your life, you know, you would like to accomplish big projects.
Like this project's been accomplished?
Yeah, like, yeah, this type of thing.
It's weird. That one, I was thinking about that question you asked me there. When you ask a dreamer like me the question, that question, a person like people like us, right? That we are entrepreneurs and we make things happen and we've done that. You never, like, I was never ever satisfied with what we had. You wanted this, you wanted this much revenue, that much. Always you're driving. But all of a sudden, there's a time and a place. You become empowered and you are absolutely proud of what me and my team have accomplished up to now, or what we have accomplished in our lives up to now and business. And then just be proud and love it. It's like a beautiful garden. And then all you do, you just adding flowers to it and you're growing more. And rather than starting with crazy goals, and it just being a state of stress and anxiety to go get it. Right now, to me, we as our team and what we've done in our industry, we have accomplished a lot. We are a publicly traded company. We are successful. Our share price undervalued, but still is good. And all of the above. Now, all we do is we're putting up different component in places to get to that ultimate dream. And the ultimate dream is that lockup package and a fully component homes going in there. And that's going to come. But we don't want to do it, it's going to come because I'm going to retire in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years or because of my age. That's going to come whether I'm around or not. That will happen because of the team. They all buy the dream and we share the dream there. And that's all we do. We have an amazing family. We have an amazing bunch of companies right now. And all we doing is we just taking care of the garden. The pioneering days are over, that you took the rock, the rocks away and stuff. Yeah. This is a beautiful garden and landscape, and we just work on tweaking it every day, and take the weeds out every day. Well, does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I totally understand what you mean, and And for a person like me, it's definitely inspiring to go further and to never be satisfied, as you say. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. It was very interesting to know more about your company, the growth, and to know more about you as well.
Thank
So
you, sir.
I really appreciate it, and thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thanks, everyone.